Well, we'll see if this is working. Hey, everybody. Yep, lots of challenges this morning, but we are going to run with this and hope for the best. So, yeah, hopefully everything's coming through here. Um, yeah, I think it's just time to invest in new laptop. So, anyway, let's get started with a little bit of prayer this morning. Kind of pray for the best. Father, this morning we do come before you and recognizing what's important, what's not. And so this morning, Father, we ask that you would give us your wisdom, which is most important. That you would forgive us for the times we allow distractions to overtake that. So, Father, I do, of course, pray for the technology this morning, that everything works out to make this work, and that we can go forward and actually learn something this morning and take into the world around us. So we pray this in your Son's name. Amen. Okay. So let me do the usual here and share this out. Usual being a hilarious word for me today. And let's see what this looks like. Not what I was hoping for. Okay. What if we do this? Closer. Closer. We're going to run with it. I do this little thing here. Hopefully that is all good. As my laptop spins itself to pieces and the best. Let's see. I'm just going to have to go with this in faith, y'all. I have no idea if it's coming through or not because I have a single single screen here, so I'm not sure what to, to hope for here. So actually, hang on a second. I know what to do with this. I think. Yes. Yes. Okay. We're good. We're good. Okay. Not going to panic anymore. Promise. No, I don't promise. All right. Proverb 26, reading from the Amplified Edition. Like snow in summer and rain in harvest, or like rain in harvest, so honor is not fitting for a short-sighted fool. Got a footnote already. Yes. So fool being verse 1:7, that fool being a character in all this. It's like a kind of a designated thing for a foolish person in general. So anyway, like the sparrow in her wandering, like the swallow in her flying, so the curse without cause does not come and alight on the underserving. So the curse without cause does not come and alight on the underserving. A whip for the horse, a bridle for the donkey, and a rod for the back of fools who refuse to learn. We've had something similar to that in a previous. That's a very, very similar rod for the back of fools. We've seen that before, I think. Do not answer or pretend to agree with the frivolous comments of a close-minded fool according to his folly. Otherwise, you, even you, will be like him. Answer and correct the erroneous concepts of a fool according to his folly. Otherwise, he'll be wise in his own eyes if he thinks you agree with him. Ooh. If you wise in his own eyes if he thinks you agree with him. That's actually really kind of a good key there, a good amplification of that, because that's actually a good distinction point there. Um, very much so, actually. Yeah, there's a lot of times when we think that the people are being accommodating or whatever sort of thing. If you accommodate someone like that, it's not a good thing to just make them think you agree with them because you're just nodding your head or whatever when they're sending nonsense. You need to be more appropriate about that. It's good. Verse 6, he who sends a message by the hand of a fool cuts off his own feet, sabotages himself, and drinks the violence it brings on himself as a consequence. So we've talked about that one before, right? Talked about this concept before. Like it's not about being punished as much as it is bringing it on yourself. It's like no one else needs to even participate because you're bringing your own folly and destruction upon yourself by doing these things. He sends a message by the hand of a fool. Why would you trust someone you know you can't trust? Verse 7, like the legs which are useless to the lame, so is a proverb in the mouth of a fool who cannot learn from its wisdom. So you need to bother, worry about it. No. Like one who absurdly binds a stone in a sling, making it impossible to throw, so is he who absurdly gives honor to a fool. Verse 9 here. Like a thorn that goes without being felt into the hand of a drunken man, so is a proverb, so is a proverb in the mouth of a fool who remains unaffected by his wisdom. So we're seeing a lot of verses here that are very much about protecting wisdom, and not wasting your time with people that just would not be worth it, I guess you could say. It's kind of harsh to say, but at the same time, it's just like um, we see very early on that the wisdom is something to seek, not something to bind others with. It is not a shoving it down people's throats. It's something to be out there freely for people to seek after, not the other way around. It's appropriate to call towards it, but not to force it. Verse 10, like a careless archer who shoots wild, it's hard to say. Like a careless archer who shoots arrows wildly and it wounds everyone, so is he who hires a fool or those who by chance just pass by. Like a dog that returns to its vomit is a fool who repeats its foolishness. That you see a man who is unteachable and wise in his own, sorry, do you see a man who is unteachable and wise in his own eyes and full of self conceit? There is more hope for a fool than for him. So, in other words, he's not being described as a fool. It's actually worse than that. Being unteachable, wise in your own eyes, is actually worse. Yeah. Verse 13, the lazy person who is self indulgent and relies on lame excuses says, there's a lion in the road. A lion is in the open square, and if I go outside to work, I'll be killed. We've seen this one before as well, haven't we? That's very much uh, these excuses that are just utterly ridiculous. There's a lion in the open square. If I go outside to work, I'll be killed. And that's their belief. They're just lazy. That's just all there is to it. But the self-indulgent part about that is interesting too. Um, yeah, I'll reserve some thoughts on that to the end of today. I think. Let's go to verse 14. Get through this here. As the door turns on its hinges, so does the lazy person on his bed, never getting out of it. The lazy person buries his hand in the dish, losing opportunity after opportunity. It wearies him to bring it back to his mouth. I've never seen that, the losing opportunity after opportunity part, as far as the buried the hand in the dish. That is a very interesting um, positioning there. I like that. Verse 16, the lazy person is wiser in his own eyes than seven sensible men who can give a discreet answer. Like one who grabs dogs by the ears and is likely to be bitten, is he who, passing by, stops to meddle with a dispute that is none of his business. Like a madman who throws firebrands, arrows, and death, so is the man who deceives his neighbor, acquaintance, or friend, and then says, was I not joking? Yeah, but yeah, experienced a bit of that. For lack of wood, the fire goes out, and where there is no whisperer who gossips, contention quiets down. Like charcoal to hot embers and wood to fire, so is a contentious man to kindle strife. So we've seen contentious woman. Now we see a contentious man. Verse 22. The words of a whisperer or gossip, like dainty morsels to be greedily eaten. They go down to the innermost chambers of the body to be remembered and mused upon. Like a common clay vessel covered in the silver dross, making it appear silver when it has no value. Are burning lips, murmuring manipulative words, and a wicked heart. Silver dross. Yeah, yeah. So that's like that's some of the after stuff, like the murky stuff when it's heated. It's still silver-ish. Yeah, interesting. Verse 24. He who hates disguises it with his lips, but he who stores up deceit, but he stores up, start that over like that is. He stores up deceit in his heart. When he speaks graciously and kindly to conceal his malice, do not trust him. For 7 abominations are in his heart. For his hatred covers itself with guile and deceit. His benevolence will be revealed openly before the assembly. Whoever digs a pit for another man's feet will fall into it, and he who rolls a stone up a hill to do mischief will come back on him. Oh, he who rolls a stone up on a hill to do mischief, it will come back on him. Interesting. A lying tongue hates those it wounds and crushes, and a flattering mouth works ruin. Yeah, good stuff here. Wanted to come back. I I should have marked it it's going along, but I think this is something where it's like it's not letting me log in for some reason. It's very strange. So you can't highlight things unless you're logged in. Something I'm trying to figure out now that I'm out of my usual office and my usual patterns here. So we'll get it figured out, I'm sure. But um, the line in the road thing, like being self-indulgent doesn't necessarily always mean you're like you know wealthy and just rolling around in it. That's not always what that means. In fact, um, I don't know. It's a weird attitude of being back here in my the town where I spent my teenage years, which is about kind of those formative years, and just feeling a difference of not just of the place, but of like the people of where I'm used to, and there's a certain just I don't know, just like a attitude or whatever that I'm noticing. Get back to the other view here, and just a general sense of um, yeah, something not being quite right, just something off, just a little bit of a what is this kind of thing? It's like what is up with that? Not being able to put my finger on it, and it does have a bit to do with the some of the concepts here of the laziness, the self indulgent, but it's also that excuses thing, And this is something that I do remember now that I look back on it. A lot of people were just like it was very much like, well, can't get ahead, Yeah, well, there's just no hope for us. We're just forgotten by society. We might as well just wallow. Um, and I actually find myself curious, like if there's more people that are spend more time on social media, like in these rural areas that like I'm in, than in other places, and I'm willing to bet that that's true. I hear more rhetoric and things like that than I do elsewhere, and so I have to wonder if that is as a factor. But yeah, just being around, just like the default attitude, do as little as you can, kind of thing. But at the same time, fascinatingly, um, I was telling someone last night that there's more resourcefulness here than a lot of places in the city, I guess you'd say. So these people have a untapped asset, and so I find myself in this what we call emergent campus, which is um, I'm actually literally sitting in. I think this was the receptionist's office. I believe, yeah, of the high school. So yeah, I find myself in this little space right now. But there's a group here from some other areas seeking out how to replicate what's happened. Um, I was remarking to my wife on the phone on the way in here that there is it's harder to find parking now than it was when I was in high school, and that there's that many people that are now working in this campus, which is fascinating to me because the hallways seem kind of empty, but but it's the way it is, and so there is some hope, but people need to get past the excuses. They need to get past the um, there's a lion in the streets kind of a thing, and so uh, yeah, we'll work towards seeing what has to happen to inspire that. I'm not really sure, but at the same time, I'm glad there's some sense of hope of entrepreneurialism and better jobs, this sort of thing that are coming out of things like this. So it really fills me with a lot of hope that there are answers out there. It's just a matter of just getting past the lion in the streets problem. So anyway, I hope that was helpful to somebody today. I actually do not have a current plan for the next few days. And so, more than likely, what I'm probably going to, given how this is all going, I'm probably just going to get to a place of stability to be able to do it well and just pre-record some segments and schedule those to go out. So not as organic, I guess, in that way, but it'll still be a proverb each day. That's the main thing. So, all right. Well, I hope you all are having a blessed day. Hopefully talk with some of you very soon. But for the rest, be blessed by the best, and then be a blessing to all the rest around you.